79% of business owners say they know about AI agents. 16% have actually put one to work. Sit with those two numbers for a second, because the story everyone's missing lies in the space between them. Every headline this year says AI adoption is exploding among small and mid-sized businesses. That part's true. What the headline skips is what the word adoption actually means once you look inside that number. And once you see what it's hiding, you'll look at your own business differently. There's a bankruptcy lawyer I read about a few months back. He runs AI agents to handle client intake, answer routine questions, and organize financial documents. He sets the high-level goals. The agents do the rest. A new client fills out an intake form at 11 p.m. on a Sunday. The agent reads it, sorts the case type, drafts the documentation checklist, and drops it in his inbox before he opens his laptop Monday morning. That's a real deployment, a system doing real work while no one stands over it. I watched the same thing happen inside a company I advised directly. A fast-growing e-commerce fashion brand had the founder personally checking every reply her entry-level support reps sent out. It was eating the hours she needed to actually grow the business. They brought in AI chatbots to handle the routine volume, order status, shipping updates, basic product questions, and the change was immediate. The entry-level role survived. What it demanded went up. The job moved from answering 100 standard questions to handling the messy, emotional cases the AI knew to route to a human. That's deployment, a system built around where the real volume and the real risk actually sit. Same shape, a completely different function. Inventory. A mid-market retail chain automated the manual stock counts and reorder calls that used to eat half of a store associate's shift. Predictive forecasting flagged what to reorder and when, so no one had to walk the floor with a clipboard every morning. Some of the long-tenured associates struggled with it. Their value had been tied to how carefully they ran manual stock control, and that skill mattered less once the system did it more accurately than they could. The ones who adapted moved their time toward the customers and the floor experience, the part a system still can't touch. New hires after the rollout never had to make that adjustment. They were expected to be comfortable with the tool on day one. Two businesses, two different functions, the same thing underneath. The system took the mechanical part, and the human work got rebuilt around what was left. Now picture the version I hear constantly. An owner opens ChatGPT, types something like, "Write me a follow-up email for a client who's gone quiet for 2 weeks," gets back 3 paragraphs that read like a marketing blog, closes the tab, and never touches it again. Maybe they try once more a month later, get another flat answer, and quietly decide AI is overhyped for a business like theirs. Ask that owner and the bankruptcy lawyer the same question. Do you know about AI agents? And they both say yes. One of them has an agent running. The other has a browser tab they closed. Here's what the numbers hide. 89% of small businesses say they use AI in some form now, up from 36% a few years ago. As a headline, that sounds finished. AI works, the data proves it, go buy something. It isn't finished. Knowing a tool exists and owning a system that runs without you standing over it are two completely different things, and almost every article citing these numbers treats them as one. So here's the checklist I actually use to tell them apart. 3 questions. I'll run each one through the lawyer, the fashion brand, and the retail chain, because all 3 pass every question. And that's exactly why they sit in the 16% instead of the 79%. Firstly, does the system run without you or your team triggering every single step? The lawyer's agent reads that Sunday night intake form on its own. No one has to remember to open it. That's what separates a tool from infrastructure. Secondly, do you have a before and after number you could write on a whiteboard and defend, rather than just a feeling that things got smoother? For the fashion brand, it's the volume of routine tickets the chatbots now absorb versus what one rep used to carry alone. Thirdly, is this part of how the team runs the business every day, or did one person open it twice, get excited, and forget about it 3 weeks later? The retail chain's forecasting runs every week, whether or not anyone's thinking about it. That's the bar. Answer no to any of those 3, and you're in the 79%. Most businesses are, right now. Here's why most owners never make it past that first stalled attempt, and it's the part that never shows up in the press release. An agent doesn't show up good on day 1. The fashion brand's chatbot misrouted plenty of angry tickets in its first week. Someone had to sit with the output against real cases, catch where it got things wrong, and tune the rules until the error rate dropped low enough to trust. The retail forecasting got tuned against real sales data for weeks before anyone let it reorder on its own. That correction period is boring. It doesn't make a good post. It's also the whole difference between the 16 and the 79. The 89% who say they use AI opened the tool. The 16 who deployed one opened the tool, then sat through the boring weeks that came after. Three things fall out of this. Firstly, the competitor you're worried about who uses AI is probably sitting right where you are. The real distance is between the owner who built something that runs without them in the room and the owner who bookmarked a tool. Secondly, if your last attempt was a free tool and a flat answer, that's proof you landed in the 79%, same as most people who tried once and quit. It says nothing about whether AI can work for your business. It says the attempt died in week 1, a far cheaper problem to fix than most owners assume once they see what fixing it looks like. Thirdly, closing this takes someone who can look at your specific operation, the way I looked at that fashion brand's ticket volume or the retail chain's reorder cycle, and tell you exactly what to build and how long the correction should take. It's a diagnosis problem before it's a technology problem. That's why owners who start with a diagnosis close this faster than owners who start by shopping for tools. These adoption headlines are going to keep getting cited as a win over the next year, because 89% sounds great in a press release. The businesses actually pulling ahead are the ones quietly doing the correction work week after week, while everyone else reads the headline and assumes they're already ahead. A year from now, the distance between those two groups shows up in the number that actually matters to an owner. How much time came back? Before you react to whatever's happening in AI this month, it helps to know what your business actually needs. That's what the operational snapshot is for. It tells you exactly where you stand and what's worth building first. Free, 30 minutes. Links in the description. And if this was useful, like the video and subscribe so you catch the next one on putting AI to work inside a real business.